Look in the mirror. The person you see is the only one responsible for the life you have today, and the only one standing in the way of the life you want. It's not the economy, it's not your boss, it's not your upbringing. It is you. As long as you believe your own excuses, you are signing the death certificate of your potential.
In this video, we are going to strip away the lies you've been telling yourself to stay comfortable. You will learn how to identify the psychological traps that keep you paralyzed, and more importantly, how to turn that victim narrative into a creator mindset. By the end of this, you won't just feel uncomfortable, you will feel capable. If you are ready to kill the excuses before they kill your future, let's get to work.
An excuse is an anesthetic drug. It doesn't solve your problem, it simply numbs the pain of your mediocrity for a few hours. When you say, "I didn't have time," your brain releases immediate relief because that lie frees you from guilt. But understand this, that comfort is a slow-acting poison. While you feel justified, time keeps running and your potential slowly dries up. If you prefer the anesthesia of an excuse over the pain of growth, you've already accepted your defeat. The problem isn't the obstacle in front of you. It's the comfortable story you created so you wouldn't have to jump over it. It's time to stop drugging yourself with convenient lies.
Why is it so hard to stop? Because your ego is a coward that wants to protect you at any cost. The mechanism is simple. If you give your absolute best and still fail, your ego interprets that as you not being good enough. That hurts, so it creates the excuse as a shield. If you didn't have time or didn't have the right resources, you can keep feeding the fantasy that if you had truly tried, you would have been a genius. The excuse allows you to maintain an image of success without ever having to actually succeed. You have to decide, do you want to be an unappreciated genius in your own head, or someone who actually builds something in the real world? Pick one.
The fear of failure is the fuel that powers every justification that comes out of your mouth. We hide behind external circumstances to avoid the vulnerability of being judged by our results. It's easier to blame the algorithm, the economy, or your upbringing than it is to admit you're terrified of discovering what you're actually capable of. The uncomfortable truth is that most of your reasons are just fears dressed up in suits and ties to look like logic. You aren't being realistic. You're being a prisoner of your own cowardice. Freedom only begins when you admit that the fear exists, but that your will to win must be greater than your urge to hide.
Every tiny excuse you accept today is one less brick in the construction of your empire tomorrow. And look, I'm not saying this from a pedestal. I've been there, staring at the ceiling, letting my dreams rot because I was too comfortable being a victim. I know how much it hurts to admit you're the problem, but I also know that you can't fix what you don't own. If this is hitting close to home, if you're feeling that fire in your gut right now, hit the like button. Not for me, but as a signal to yourself that you're finally listening. You aren't just resting, you are losing. Let's do a reality check right now. You say you don't have time, but how much time did you spend today scrolling through your feed or watching videos that add zero value to your life? You say you don't have the energy, yet you have plenty of energy to complain about your situation to anyone who will listen. The brutal truth is this: if you have time for what is easy, you have time for what is necessary. The difference between those who make it and those who stay behind is the management of priorities, not hours. If something is truly important to you, you find a way. If it's not, you find an excuse. Which of those groups do you actually belong to today? To win this game, you have to become a professional lie detector for your own mind. The next time the phrase, "I can't because," pops into your head, stop and dissect it. Is this a physical, immovable fact, or is it just a mental barrier you built to stay safe? Learn to separate facts from narratives. Having a problem is a fact. Using that problem as the reason for not acting is the victim's narrative. The world is full of people who won with far fewer resources than you have right now. What did they have that was different? They simply refused to accept their own script of defeat.
Start editing your story before it becomes your reality. We have reached the point of decision. There are only two types of pain in this life: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. The discomfort of waking up early, of studying when you're exhausted, and of taking total responsibility hurts now, but it passes. The regret of looking back 10 years from today and realizing you traded your destiny for a few hours of comfort, that pain is eternal. What do you choose? There is no middle ground here. Either you kill your excuses right now, or they will slowly suffocate every single dream you once dared to have. The choice is yours, but remember, the clock is always ticking.
I'm not here to ask for your subscription just to grow a number. I only want you here if you're actually going to do the work. I want to build a tribe of people who are done with the lies. So, let's make this official. I'm going to be in the comments reading every single one of you. Go down there right now and write down one excuse you are killing today. Write it as a contract. I will no longer say I don't have time, or whatever your lie is. Own it. The time for talk is over. The stage is set, and the clock doesn't stop for anyone. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It only rewards your results. Wake up.